The cutting, would I speak from one of these?
Yeah, they're all turned on.
Right. So my name is David Higgins from Duco events. I'd like to thank everyone for coming today and thank everyone who's tuning in to watch today's announcement. Look, I think the first thing to cover off is that we've actually listened to the public and ticket holders and stakeholders involved in the event. And so I'm here to announce that the Stonewood Homes Parker Far promotion will be pushed out 24 hours. So instead of Friday, December 11, the event will now take place on Saturday, December 12. Now the reason for that is to maximise local and global participation. So originally, we went with the Friday because there was talk of the All Blacks playing on the Saturday, and it didn't make sense for the events to go head to head. But given that now Saturday is clear, it makes a lot of sense for this momentous event to happen on Saturday. This is the biggest boxing event in New Zealand history, and a Saturday enables New Zealanders to travel from the South Island, the provinces, Joseph Port and Invercargill, Palmerston North, so the travelling public can come up to Auckland and be part of it. I think for the New Zealanders not there live watching on TV, it gives them time to download their Spark Sport app, get their friends organised, and it gives them a whole day to get their heads around the event. And then also, our international broadcasters will be much happier. I mean, this is a global event. It's one of the only major sporting events with a full crowd in the world, and it is going to every corner of the earth. And so, for example, our British broadcaster, the event will now come in, and the main event will be around 10 a.m. Saturday morning, which is much better than Friday when everyone's at work. So for many reasons, Saturday was a much better option for us. We understand that some people will be inconvenienced, so we want to state that every ticket remains valid, every corporate table remains valid, and you don't need to do anything. But for anyone that is inconvenienced and needs a refund, they're welcome to contact us and they'll be given a full refund. And finally, we'd like to apologise to anyone who's inconvenienced, but this was the right thing to do to set a new record in New Zealand boxing. The other reason we're here today is for our two training teams to meet for the first time. There's a lot of interest in how either camp will prepare for this fight, and Kevin Barry, Joseph's long-term trainer and training team led by Kevin on my right, has quarantined back into New Zealand a couple of weeks in quarantine, and then also Eugene, Bareman and Doug Viney coming off a tremendous victory for Israel Adesanya, which has made New Zealanders proud. What a star there, and they've quarantined back in too. So it makes sense to bring them together and just hear from their perspective about this landmark heavyweight boxing event. So I might ask Eugene to say a couple of words first at their side, and then Kevin, and then we'll go to questions.
Yeah, thank you, David. Thank you for the intro. I'm just happy to be a part of this. My role in this is to assist Doug. Doug's the head trainer. I'm more of an assistant role, helping out where I can, filling in gaps. I didn't even necessarily have to be here, but I've become like some sort of a celebrity trainer, it looks like. But nevertheless, I'm here, and I'm just really looking forward to being a part of this monumental event with Joseph and Junior. And I'm also very gracious to Doug for giving me and some of the other coaches a small part to play in this fight, and a big part of the fight strategy and the tactics that we're going to use is going to be a conglomeration of all of us working together, come up with the best strategy that we can. A lot of that work's already done. Junior's taken over his part, so yeah, I'm happy to be here, happy to be a part of it. Cool.
Cool.
Hi. And that might be why I'm here.
Thanks, Eugene, for that. Good morning, everyone. Firstly, the stars were really aligned for this fight. You know, we knew that this fight was always going to be on the cards at some stage. And our team has watched Junior develop over the last 4 years. We watched when he turned pro in 2016, and you know, the first year he strung together 9 fights. He quickly got up to speed. We've watched what Doug's done with Junior. You know, he's 19-0 now, and I think a lot of that credit has to go to Doug Viney for the work that he's put in over the last 4 years. We've also watched the skills of Junior develop, especially with his work with Malik Scott. We saw him, you know, raise his game to another level with him. We also saw that after, you know, sparring Deontay Wilder, the WBC world champion, we watched Junior's confidence grow during that time. So, you know, Joe and I and our team, we've always known that this fight was going to take place. And we've had always one eye on Junior and his fights and his development. We know that what Eugene brings, you know, Eugene brings international experience. So the whole training team is a good team that we have a lot of respect for. And you know, when I first saw Junior today, when he walked from the dining room where he was over there, or the cafe, and I looked at him, I thought, God, I don't think I've ever seen him looking in such good shape. You know, so I know he's taking this fight very seriously. This fight is definitely a big step up for him. Mark Cadell, I believe, has done a fantastic job, a hard negotiation job with David Higgins. And we all know that, you know, we've heard the stories about David Higgins. He's done some pretty good deals in the last 5 or 6 years. He's done some very good deals for Joseph Parker. And, you know, I give Mark a lot of credit for finalising and signing a very good deal for his fighter, Junior Farr. We look at Lou DiBella, the man at the helm. Now, Lou is a guy that's been involved in boxing his whole life. He has identified, created, and developed many fighters into world champions. You know, he's had Junior from fight 1, so you know, Junior is part of that talent pool of fighters that Lou DiBella works with. So all in all, we have a lot of respect for their team. We know that we're going to get the very best Junior Farr that we've seen to date. And look, you know, he's 4 years into his professional career, and I don't believe that the New Zealand public or world boxing have seen the best of Junior Farr yet. A lot of people say to us, after Joe won the world title, oh, we've seen the best of Joseph Parker. I don't believe that. But I know for sure that we haven't seen the best of Junior Farr. Junior's now 19-0. When Joseph Parker was 19-0, we as a team decided that we were going to roll the dice and we were going to put Joseph into a fight that actually meant a lot on a world stage. Now that fight for us was fighting the 33-2 Carlos Takam, a guy who had so much respect and so much credibility in heavyweight boxing, and a fight that those of you who saw the fight know that it was a life and death fight for Joseph Parker, but it's a fight that we got up and we won, and it was for the #1 position at the time with the IBF. So it was a really, really big fight, and that was when Joe was 19-0. Now we've got Junior Farr at 19-0. His team are rolling the dice and are testing him like they've never tested him before, and he's fighting the 27-2 Joseph Parker, a man who won the world title in his 4th year as a pro, a guy who defended that title twice, a guy who has battle-hardened skills fighting the likes of Carlos Takam, Andy Ruiz, Hughie Fury, Dillian White, and of course Anthony Joshua. Those battle-hardened rounds by Joseph Parker have turned him into the international quality, elite heavyweight that he is today. And that's what makes this fight so exciting and so purposeful for me, is I know that we're going to have to get our best, because I know that the opportunity is there, and the key word in all of this is opportunity. And the opportunity is for Junior Barr to change his whole life and to do against Joseph Parker what Joseph Parker did against Carlos Takam. You can tell by my voice I'm excited for this fight. You know, this is a fight that the New Zealand public are very blessed to have this fight, and it's because of the great job that the government did with COVID and the stars being aligned that we can put a world-class fight like this together. Thank you.
Well said, Evan Barry. So now we'd just like to go to some questions from the floor, and then follow that one-on-ones.
Got some microphones.
So I suspect the media are going to want to wait for the one-on-ones, so they don't give away any questions. So do we have any questions? Okay, so we're straight into one-on-ones. I'd like to thank everyone for coming, everyone who's watching on the live stream. Thank you for tuning in. Short and sweet, but I think we've set the agenda. It's going to be probably the biggest sporting event of the year. So thank you again very much.
Do you want to get some photos?
Andrew,
Yeah.
why do you want just a quick shot of everyone together? That's fine. All right then. All right. That'll be unfolded, I guess. All right, everyone, that's good. All right, you be looking up the camera. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks.
Oh, can we do a few more? Can we just do Team VAR together and then Team Parker, and then if we can do just the trainers together and the fighters together, that'd be great. Yeah. Cool. And just don't go too far away though, guys. And you two together, sorry. Team you and Joe, yep. Oh, yep. Yep. And then I'd like to get the trainers together as well, both sets of trainers.
If I can shuffle a little bit, once you can, shuffle. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Good. Thank you.
Great. And Team VAR and Team Parker trainer, please.